Employee training and development. Welcome to week number 2. Good job on the start. For the most part, week 1 was really just a syllabus quiz. This book is a little bit more flexible with us during the semester. We have the ability to go week by week and actually be able to take our time with it. This first chapter will be dealing with a few different topics. One of them will be the generational differences. Be talking about how you adjust to some of these situations within your workforce. We'll be discussing some of the changes in regards to learning, how certain generations learn a certain way and others learn a different way. One of the questions that was posed during our class last week was, how are the generations broken down? So in your book, in page 23, it gives us a breakdown of the different generation categories. It talks about the different generations versus the years that they categorize those generations at. For example, if you were born between 1925 through 1945, so a 20-year span, those are what we're considering the traditionalist generation, also called the silent generation. This age group is between 66 and 86, so a lot of maybe your grandparents. There's the other category that's from 1946 to 1964. This is what most commonly is referred as to the baby boomers. They are typically maybe your parents, or in some cases your grandparents, ages 47 to 65. They are starting now, this generation is starting now to retire. These are the people going into retirement at this point. This would be my parents. And then after this, you have the Gen Xers, or Generation X, which is from 1965 to 1980. This generation is between the age of 31 and 46. A big chunk of the workforce nowadays. So this is a generation that we will be discussing. I understand this generation because this is my generation. For most of you, you would fall into the category of these next two. From 1981 to 1995, we have the famous millennials. The millennials, which everyone talks about, were born during the time of the computer, had a lot of technology and advancements, are very collaborative generation. We'll be discussing that, and you will be giving me your points of view as millennials. We might have a few of you that are still Gen Xers, so we'll talk to you about that the differences between those. And of course, 1996 and on, which is called the Generation Z. They also call it the digital natives, which is basically born in a time where everything is digital or technology driven. Those are people who are under the age of 16. For the most part, we'll be discussing ways to deal with these types of diverse workforces, how to train them. We'll be talking about globalization, which is something that has occurred in the last decade or so, or a couple decades. We are no longer just a business within a certain area. A lot of people are dealing with businesses throughout the world. So come ready to speak about some of these topics. We do have a class project that we will be working on. We'll be picking a business, and we'll be discussing in detail some of the different ways of training in that business. Now, if you do take performance management with me, a lot of these topics will coincide with one another, or will be very similar. So it's going to help you in a way in understanding it from a deeper point of view. I just warn you, do not confuse the two topics. Do not confuse the two different areas. So just keep in mind, if you're taking performance management and employee training and development, some of these topics are going to blend. Looking forward to seeing you once again this week. I hope everyone did well in your other classes last week. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me at 706-272-2952 or in my email, largueta, argueta, @gntc.edu. Have a great day, guys, and we will talk to you soon.